Vidmar, and the women by 16-year-old Julianne McNamara and 15-year-old Tracee Talavera. All here on ABC Sports. The steeple of Powell Library, a proud part of one of the oldest buildings on the campus of UCLA, a university secluded here in the hills of Los Angeles, California. School is in session. Daily schedules covering a wide variety of classes and extracurricular activities continue year-round for over 30,000 students here at UCLA. And Pauley Pavilion, well-known home of the UCLA basketball team, famous for their successive NCAA titles, is the site of our gymnastic competition today. And it will also be the site of the gymnastics competition in the 1984 Olympic Games. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jack Whitaker welcoming you once again to another in our series of the USA versus the world in Olympic sports. Today, another look at our gymnasts as they do battle against the People's Republic of China. And the women's competition is coming up a little later with Kathy Rigby as our analyst. For the men's, we have old friend Gordon Maddox. And Gordon, what should we expect to see here today?
Well, Jack, first of all, about the American team. Two of our young stars are notable in their absence. Bart Connor had a prior commitment. He's not here. Jimmy Hartung is back in Lincoln, Nebraska, training with his Cornhusker teammates. But make no mistake about it, even without these two young stars, this is not a weak team. They'll do very well against the Chinese. And Peter Vidmar, the best American all-around man here, is competing on his home floor right here at UCLA, and he should be very strong in the all-around. The Chinese are very much like the Russians. They could send their first, second, or third teams almost anywhere in the world and do very well against the competition. The team you'll see here will not be familiar. It's not the team that we televised from Moscow in the World Championships. This is their young team, the team that they intend to bring back in 1984 for the Olympic Games, and they are dynamite. And remember the name Lu Yan. You'll remember the name that we gave another teammate of his back at the World Championships. We called him Thunder Thighs because of the great musculature of his legs. Dynamite gymnast, Lu Yan looks exactly like his clone. Watch him, because he is certainly going to entertain you.
The first rotation in this competition for men is the floor exercise. There are 6 competitors from each country, with the 5 highest scores for each team counting toward the team total. This is Xie Tie Hua, 21 years old and certainly one of China's best gymnasts.
And he really gets into it in a hurry. Watch it, the height of his tumbling. He'll start with a layout double back somersault. And he just busts it. Now he doesn't stop there. He comes back again with a full twisting double back. He'll do a half twist in each one of his somersaults. Oh, such explosive power. There's a vitality to his movement. He's very compact in his build, and he almost bounces all the time when he hits the floor. Watch this punch front now. Just no end. Now he'll show you his power move. Remember, he has to demonstrate strength, flexibility, balance. He does all 3 of those things in this one move. Now the time limitations in floor exercise, 50-second minimum, 70-second maximum. And so now he'll be getting set up for his dismount. Now that tone signifies only 20 seconds remaining. His dismount, I think, will be a tucked double back somersault. More tumbling. There it is. Wow, what a dynamic finish.
Xie Tie Hua, 21-year-old university student from Jilin, China. And we're told that his first name, Tie Hua, means iron. It certainly is an apt name for a gymnast. Let's take a look in slow motion at the dismount, Gordon.
Oh, iron for sure. Now watch the elevation he gets. He nearly goes into orbit. Gets a good round off, fast back handspring, punches it, gets it up in the air, and then just makes a marvelous landing.
Here's the score, 9-7-5 for Xie Tie Hua. And we'll be back with more floor exercises in just a moment.
The USA versus the world in Olympic sports is being brought to you by MasterCard International. So worldly, so welcome, the only name you need beside your own. By Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Aetna. Whatever your insurance or financial needs, call an Aetna agent. We bet you'll say, Aetna, I'm glad I met you. We'll be back with more gymnastics from Pauley Pavilion in Los Angeles in a moment.
I tell you, with girls, I never had any luck, you know. Well, I used to call information just to get a woman to talk to me. You live around here? Then I found light beer for Miller. Well, light's less filling, and it really tastes great. Now, I'll tell you, since I discovered light beer, women are always talking to me, you know. Hi. You come here often?
Get lost.
See what I mean?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I tell you, she's crazy about me.
The following performance is brought to you by the Champion Spark Plug Company. We are starting the 1982 performance season with over 197 Formula One victories, domination of international motorcycle championships, worldwide use by major professional racing teams. And we can help you get sure starts, terrific mileage, and performance. Next tune up, insist on champions. Champion wins the world over.
More floor exercises now. This is Mitch Gaylord from Van Nuys, California, a very explosive gymnast.
But we'll be seeing a full-in double-back somersault for a mount. Not bad. Mitch has really made a splash on the international scene just recently. Comes a double full twister. Good start so far. Mitch works very quickly through his entire routine. He's a bit tall, has a nice line to him when he works. Incidentally, has more strength than you might think he possesses, too. Show you a planche, straddle planche, take it right on up into the handstand. Now that fulfills the strength requirement. Nice scale, good style. Takes care of his balance. And there's the whistle. So now all Mitch has to do is show you a nice back handspring to a double back somersault for a dismount. Little step there, not a bad exercise, Jack.
Mitch Gaylord, member of the National United States team in 1980 and 81. He was twice NCAA All-American at UCLA. And the crowd here at Pauley Pavilion, remember that. He gets a 9.6 in the floor exercise. Mitch Gaylord. And now we have, from the People's Republic of China, Lu Yan.
Well, another one of the dynamic tumblers. He'll show you a layout double back somersault for his mount. And I'm telling you, I can't believe the power they generate. It's such a strong landing. Come back now with a piked 1 3/4 side somersault, I believe. Yes, yes. Nice. Incidentally, a point we like to make with all of our broadcasts involving the Chinese gymnast, the name Lu Yan, of course, Lu being his last name, which is spoken first in Chinese. So the last name is first. Handstand. Now another transition move. Nice front through. Rather conservative in the center part of his exercise. His claim to fame, I believe, is his steadiness. He just doesn't have any bobbles. Even in the one-footed scale or arabesque, no problem. Should be a full-in double back somersault. Yes, excellent exercise.
Lu Yan. He was the all-around gold medalist at the Chinichi Cup in 1981, so his international competition papers are in good order. Getting the congratulations from his teammates and the Americans. Let's take a look in slow motion, Gordon.
I love to watch this tumbling, Jack. It just really is an exciting thing to watch. Gets it up so high, turns it around. I'll tell you, you can't believe how high he was at that point.
And now the score, let's see. Yes, a well-deserved 9.9 for Lu Yan. And that helps the Chinese get off to a tremendous start in this competition. 9.9. Never been done in that exercise here in this pavilion before. The score, China 48.4, United States 47.35.
Sweetheart, if you get up now, we'll have time for a little breakfast at McDonald's before work. How about some country fresh scrambled eggs?
Good morning, rise up and shine.
Sausage sizzling?
Here I go.
Start the day feeling fine.
Golden hash browns?
Here I go.
You deserve a break today, so get up this morning and get away.
Here I am.
To McDonald's.
Mommy, Daddy's here.
When the Ross's TV set was stolen, it was 5 years old. But Etna didn't quibble. Etna replaced it with a brand new model.
Etna, I'm glad I met you.
When the Gilberts' house was destroyed by fire, Etna settled in full within 3 days. So they were able to rebuild right away.
Etna, I'm glad I met you.
If this is the kind of complete coverage you want, maybe it's time you met Etna.
Etna, I wish I'd met you.
Dueling denims, the best-selling jeans, versus JCPenney plain pockets. They both fit great. They're both long-wearing. They even look alike. Here's the difference. Plain pockets don't have fancy stitching or a fancy price. And now they're even on sale for just $10.99. JCPenney plain pockets. They're the pockets to pick.
Down the way in South Carolina, there's a stock car race that couldn't be finer on that nasty track at Darlington. In the Rebel 500. The good old boys are getting set in the roughest, toughest stock cars yet. You'll find them in no other place but the Rebel 500. And cross the land in California, the Derby hopefuls are on their way. Both live, of course, next on ABC's Wide World of Sports. You all stay tuned now, you hear?
Peter Vidmar was the outstanding competitor on the pommel horse. He scored a 9.8 and helped keep the competition close between the United States and the People's Republic of China. The Chinese have taken, at this point, a 1.1 lead. Now we move on to the rings, and here is Peter Vidmar readying for his performance. Let's take a minute to meet him, this UCLA student, up close and personal. With picturesque coastal mountain ranges to their backs and the vast Pacific staring into their faces, Southern California athletes have long been envied by their peers across the country since the days of the Frankie Avalon Beach movies. But for Peter Vidmar, sand and surf have to be shared with gymnastics.
I've never felt myself falling into the typical mold of a Southern California type athlete. I'm just heavily involved in gymnastics, and I really don't have a chance to participate in any of the other numerous recreational activities they have in California. Surfing is something that I'd like to do more after I quit gymnastics. As I get more involved in competition, I really don't get the chance to go out there, and I really don't want to jeopardize my gymnastics any, so I don't want to get heavily involved in it. But I guess it's a form of release.
A total commitment to gymnastics is also shared by Peter's roommate at UCLA, Tim Daggett. For both of them, travel and training place a burden on academics.
The hardest thing about being a college student and I guess a world-class competitor is the travel. We're gone sometimes half of the quarter, and I miss a lot of school, so I really have to make up for it and bring my books with me when I study. And Tim and I usually run every morning just to kind of start the day, and it's a good way to really gather my thoughts before the day starts, because you're just running and you're not doing anything, just thinking to yourself. I guess the most important thing for me right now is to try to do the best I can to reach my peak at the 1984 Olympics. It's my home city, in my home country, it's in my home school, it's in my home arena at Poly Pavilion, and I really can't ask for any more ideal situation to have a competition because it's the Olympic Games in my home court.
And here is Peter Vidmar performing on his home grounds at Pauley Pavilion at UCLA. He's the Pac-10 all-around champion, now performing on the rings, which unquestionably is one of his stronger events. But then Peter has very few weak ones.
Remember, in the ring event, the gymnast must show you 2 handstands. He must swing to one, which Peter has now just done, and later on get into one with strength. Giant swings both directions. There's a whippet. He'll drop out probably into another whippet. Yes. Nice work. An L cross. Very nice. Hometown kid, hometown crowd. Of course, they love Peter Vidmar. Now there's his press to a handstand. His handstand requirements are now behind him. Now probably a half in, half out double flyaway. Oh, beautiful height. That's an excellent exercise.
Peter Vidmar from UCLA. A hometown boy getting the plaudits now from his teammates. And the crowd here at Pauley Pavilion loves it. And here's the score, a 9.85 for Peter Vidmar on the ring. A marvelous performance. And that will help the United States cause here as Peter Vidmar takes a bow on his home floor of Pauley Pavilion. This is Xie Tie Hua for China. He is the rings champion. Got a silver in the floor exercises. He is 20 years old.
There's a strong rumor that he has muscles even in his ears. Watch this exercise. Boy, this guy is powerful. Nice and steady. He'll kip up to a cross. Very slow roll into his kip position, into an immediate cross. Now up goes the elevator. Whoop. Press to his handstand, straight arm. This crowd knows gymnastics. They understand what he has just done. Another giant swing coming. And then possibly an inverted cross. No. There we go. There's the inverted cross.
Yeah.
Nice work. And he'll show you a full twisting double flyaway. Look out.
There it
nice
is.
exercise.
Xie Tie Hua is the Chinese national champion on rings. Another strong performance. Let's take a look in slow motion at his dismount.
Now Jack will catch him in the handstand. He bails out, takes a giant dislocate. Now watch as he gets a lift above the rings for a half in, half out, full twisting double flyaway. Oh, outstanding.
And now let's see his score, a 9.9 for Xie Tie Hua, which helps the Chinese considerably. A very strong performance by Xie Tie Hua, and that gives the Chinese now a 1.15 lead over the United States at this point in the competition.
Yesterday, steak in San Francisco. Tonight, teriyaki in Tokyo.
Very international.
Right down to my card.
International. So worldly, so welcome, so worldly, so welcome.
I bought my baubles in Bimini.
MasterCard International.
I bought my skis in Aspen.
No, Switzerland.
So worldly, so welcome.
I bought my tan in Spain. Olé.
So worldly, so welcome.
MasterCard. The only name you need beside your own.
MasterCard International. So worldly, so welcome. So worldly, so welcome. MasterCard International.
In this great country of ours, there is a great gymnastics event. Top athletes from around the world have come to challenge these Americans. Julianne McNamara, Tracee Talavera, Bart Connor, American Cup Gymnastics. Across the Atlantic in Vienna, Austria, weightlifters display technique and physique trying to determine the pound-for-pound best. The World Cup Weightlifting Championships. A real blowout. Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports after the Professional Bowlers Tour on ABC.
And now for the competition in the vault, this is Mario McCutcheon, whose coach, Abe Grossfeld, says has the best form and style of any gymnast in the country.
Well, he's trying a tough vault. He's going for handspring front somersault. Very difficult vault to land. Boy, what great elevation he gets.
Mario's from New York City. And now getting congratulated by his teammates over there. And, of course, he has Olympic dreams, too. Here's his score, 9.75 for Mario McCutcheon. A fine performance. Now we have Peter Vidmar for the vault.
And a very difficult vault. He'll do a handspring front somersault in the pike position, and it's a blind landing. He can't see the floor. He simply has to feel the rotation. Not a bad vault at all.
Done. Peter Vidmar. All right.
Now, in the desire to see the floor, watch as he gets his head forward at the end just to take a peek. Now, that taking a peek causes him to rotate that one step. Not bad.
Not bad at all. 9.75 for Peter Vidmar, who was third in the all-around competition coming into the ball and still very much in that race. And now the man who is leading in the all-around competition coming into the vaulting. This is Xie Tai Hua.
Attempting now a front handspring, front somersault with a half twist. Now that half twist is important. Makes the landing considerably easier. Good landing.
Nice.
I didn't like his style in the air, Jack, but he certainly nailed it. Let's take another look now. Concentrate on his head. As he comes around, he actually focuses his eyes, knows exactly where to put his feet.
9.8. 9.8 for Xie Tai Hua.
This is Mitch Gaylord.
Well, we said Mitch Gaylord has no weak spots, but vaulting certainly is one of his strengths, Gordon.
And he's doing a tough vault. It's a Sukahara with a full twist. A Sukahara is a cartwheel on the horse, back somersault off, and he'll add the full twist. Oh, except for the landing, it was a fine vault. Watch it again now. Gets it up in the air, gets a little bit loose on the landing, lets his feet come under too far, and that's the reason for that one step.
Score for Mitch Gaylord also.
But a nice score, 9.8 for Mitch Gaylord. And this brings us to Lu Yun, who is second in the all-around going into this competition. He'll need a 9.9 to take the lead from his teammate, Xie Tai Hua.
And look out for this vault. It'll be another front handspring, front somersault with a half twist, and I suspect he'll go into orbit. Oh, does he ever? Really gets it in the air.
What a performance here by Lu Yun, and does the crowd at Quali Pavilion love it? Oh, my, you knew that was different. Let's take another look.
Watch his arms now. They're just like the pole vaulter's pole. He gets such marvelous spring off of those arms. He really does take an orbit shot.
Yes, a 9.9. Lu Yun has done it. He has taken the lead now from Xie Tai Hua and now leads in the all-around competition. And, of course, that helps the Chinese keep that winning edge over the United States, as you can see in the standings after the fourth rotation.
I've had to write some tough things about some tough guys. But there's one guy I can't write anything bad about. He's unique.
There's quite a race for the all-around title between these three competitors, Xie Tai Hua, Lu Yun, and Peter Vidmar. And here we are for the high bar competition. This is Lu Yun, second in the all-around going into this competition.
And, Jack, the high bar never fails to be exciting. It's so doggone treacherous, for one thing, and they're just doing so many things up there. We'll see a shoot to a one-arm giant first by this young gentleman. Now he'll pivot on the top, bring his feet through, and shoot to an inverted giant. One of the requirements. Here he comes through. Now here comes his shoot. Oh, look out!
Well, what happens now?
Well, now, Jack, falling off costs him half a point, 0.5 of a point. He then can remount and start where he left off. Now, let's watch, see if we can tell where he went wrong. He wants to go on over the top after this shoot. Comes out much too early. Now, in addition to the half point, Jack, it costs a deduction for whatever caused the mistake going in. And so here's a man now who is in deep yogurt.
Yes, and in such fine shape coming in. What a shame. But he picks up where he left off.
Exactly. Now that kills him in the all-around. All right, now he's going to probably work around. There's a Healy turn. Now he'll get back in position for his flyaway, which I believe will be a layout double flyaway. Oh, too bad. They had a big mistake in there. Other than that, it was a fine exercise.
What a landing. Why, they do land well, these Chinese, don't they?
Really?
That is Lu Yun, second in the all-around coming in here, but he may have hurt himself. He's a high school student and no stranger to international competition. We mentioned before he won the gold all-around at the Chinichi Cup. 9. That will hurt his chances in the all-around, but it might not hurt the team's chances since they can throw out the low score. This is Xie Tai Hua, who is leading in the all-around competition coming into this event.
And, Jack, he's been so exciting everywhere else, and he has all the ingredients here to really make your hair stand on end. What an exercise this man has planned for us. And he's been as steady as a rock all day long. There's a nice start. Now he'll start with a baby stalder. There's his baby staller chute. Come out, come back into stallers in the other direction. Now get ready for a reverse hecht here. Over the top. Nice move. Now the move that cost his teammate so dearly. There he shoots. Makes it cleanly. Now he'll pivot and get ready now. Look out, because he's going to attempt a triple flyaway. Triple flyaway. All right.
He do it. Xie Tie Hua, the Iron Man.
And Jack, does he get this thing set up well? Watch how he takes a little tap right there to keep it in close to the bar. Takes it up. There's 1, 2, and nice landing.
And Xie Tie Hua gets a 9.8. Now that brings us to Peter Vidmar. And he'll need a 9.95 to take the lead in the all-around from Xie Tie Hua.
And Peter always finds a way to make it exciting. You know, one of his release moves he always misses in the warm-up and almost always catches. It's coming up pretty shortly. Now let's see if he gets it. There it is. Nope, there's a reverse hecht. Now he'll shoot to eagles and do his flyaway recatch out of this. Now on the next time around, here it comes. Release. All right, Peter. Well, I'll tell you. Staller shoot. Nice save, Peter. Came out just a tad early. Should see a piked half-in, half-out flyaway. Peter is, now touching down there is a heavy deduction. That's too bad, Peter.
That's up to there. He was almost perfect, wasn't it?
Really, yes.
Peter Vidmar. Take another look.
Now he's got to get this set up. Now watch the tap right here. He taps it, and that keeps his hips in close to the bar and enables him to make a nice clean catch. And that's really just about as well as that move can be done.
Score for Peter Vidmar. A 9.6 for Peter Vidmar. And now as the United States tries to narrow the gap with the Chinese, here is Mitch Gaylord at the horizontal bar. Coach Abe Grossfeld calls him our most explosive gymnast. He's a good all-around performer and especially good in this event.
He is just, he's crazy in this event, I'll tell you. You'll see what I mean as it goes along. He's in inverted. He'll pirouette out of that into stallers. And then you'll see a flyaway half-turn recatch, one of his release moves. Okay, that's not the biggie. He saved a nice Weiler kip. Now watch this Gaylord flip. You ready? Over the top.
My goodness.
Got a very bad start back out of it. And a triple flyaway. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
Oh, Mitch Gaylord is unreal.
A triple, and his crowd is on its feet.
What a
Pauly Pavilion is on its feet. Oh, they love that triple, don't they?
They sure do. I love the whole exercise. I can't believe what he does in it.
The whole team is coming out to get him.
Gaylord, you are too much. High five for you.
Well, let's watch that Gaylord summy again. Comes up over the top. Now watch him lift his hips into a front somersault. Takes it right over the top of the bar, reaches back and recatches. Gets a little bit low on the landing, but what a move.
A 9.9 for Mitch Gaylord. Listen to this crowd. Tremendous performance. They wanted a 10, I think, Gordon.
You got it.
But despite that strong performance by Mitch Gaylord, Xie Tie Hua wins the all-around championship here and helps his Chinese team to edge out the United States team by 0.45 of a point. We'll be back at Pauly Pavilion with the women's competition in just a moment. We're back at tradition-rich Pauly Pavilion, where John Wooden had a few winners in the sport of basketball. A big crowd is on hand for a different kind of sport. We are ready for the women's competition now in this gymnastic meet between the People's Republic of China and the United States. And Kathy Rigby, we had a very close competition with the men. Is it going to be the same way with the women?
Well, if both teams hit well, the Americans should have the advantage in this competition. However, the Chinese are a major force in gymnastics, and they proved that at the World Championships by taking second only behind the USSR. They've sent a young team, and many of them hope to be on the Olympic team in 1984. The Americans are led by Tracee Talavera, Julianne McNamara, two of our very best.
As you can see, the United States took the early lead in the team competition. The United States 48, China 46.3. With the help of the dynamic performance on vault by this young lady, Mary Lou Retton, who had the highest score on the vault, a 9.8. And here we go now to the uneven bars. And this, from the People's Republic of China, is Xie Tie Hua.
And Xu has an interesting routine at the end. She starts out with pretty basic moves right here. There's a hex with a half twist. She drops to the low bar, kip catch. Their form is just terrific. And their technique is fairly good. Sometimes they tend to arch a little bit in the handstand, but so far, so good. Kip double leg shoot through. There's a little pause there, a little bit too long. Heck with a half twist. Nicely done. Slight separation in the legs, but not bad. Now, this is the dismount. It's a double twist from the high bars and landed very well.
That is Xie Tai Hua, 15 years old, only 4 feet 8 inches tall. Now, as we await her score.
Score for Xie Tai Hua,
9.6 for Xie Tai Hua. And now, one of America's top women gymnasts. This is Tracee Talavera from Walnut Creek, California, member of the World Championship team in 1981.
And Jack, if any event is strong for the Americans, this is the one in particular. They move very well on this apparatus. They're strong, and they're going to be real world contenders and possibly medal winners in 1984. Tracee's doing very well so far. She has one difficult move after another. Lots of risk and originality. Stalter to a handstand. Toe on, full twist off.
Oh.
Excellent routine.
Tracee Talavera, coached by Dick and Linda Mulvihill in Eugene, Oregon. Let's take a look in slow motion now at her dismount.
You can see on this dismount that she really drops her chin. She pikes on just at the right time, the right angle, kicks those feet right to the ceiling and completes the full twist almost above the bar. Great execution. Good dismount. Very difficult.
Tracee Talavera, and she scores a 9.7. The United States women looking awfully good, and we'll be back to Pauley Pavilion with more in just a moment. Republic of China, Zhou Jing, one of the oldest competitors for the Chinese team. She's 19.
And also one of the strongest for the Chinese performing on the uneven bars here in this competition. Starts out with a kip to a half twist. Right into a clear hip handstand. Now watch this. She'll straddle right over the high bar. It's called a vault. Straddle vault over the high bar. Very difficult to do. Kip to the high bar, front roll. Legs separated just slightly, about 1/10 of a point if the judges saw it. Now watch this. Toe on. Half twist, Coleman each. Very nicely done.
Nice performance by Zhou Jing, who's been a member of the national team since 1979. Let's take a look in slow motion at the dismount,
You
Kathy.
can see she almost lost her balance on this dismount. She straddled a little bit, almost overdid it. Laid out very nicely at the end, piked down a little bit with her head down, but nicely done on that dismount.
And her score, 9.65 for Zhou Jing. Coming up next for the United States, perhaps our best women gymnast. This is Julianne McNamara. And let's take a closer look at this 16-year-old athlete and the world of the women gymnast. For Julianne McNamara and the 5 other gymnasts who live with their coaches, Dick and Linda Mulvihill in Eugene, Oregon, there's no better place for a campfire than the Oregon coastline. And for Julianne, it's moments like these that prove her decision to leave home to train in Oregon was the correct one.
Well, for me to come up to Oregon and train, it was a tough decision for both my parents and my family and me. But we felt it was the only way to go because in gymnastics, it is a sport that you need top coaching, and if you don't have it, then you might as well just quit.
But certainly Julianne, this country's #1 ranked female gymnast, is not a quitter in anything she does, including her studies. She's a junior at South Eugene High School, where she has maintained a straight A average despite a heavy schedule of travel and training.
I go to school from around 8 in the morning till 12, and I have math, biology, English, and Spanish. And it's pretty hard when I do a lot of traveling to get my schoolwork made up, but usually I do pretty good. A lot of people think that, well, my gymnastics training hampers me from having a normal life, but I think that, to me, my gymnastics is normal to me, and I benefit through gymnastics, traveling, and experiences that other kids that my age would never have. We don't get to, like, do things like go to dances or do things with friends that most kids do, but it pretty much evens out.
Julianne McNamara, and here she is on the uneven bars.
Julianne McNamara.
She's so strong, and I think every time I watch this bar routine, I get so excited, and I think she's our best hope for a medal on this apparatus in 1984. Her mount is called the McNamara mount. She invented this, and it was named after her because of that. See, she'll mount with a mixed grip and shoot right to the handstand. It takes an incredible amount of strength. Right here, right to the handstand, half turn. Beautifully done, giant swings. Eagle grip, right over the low bar. No effort, it seems. So far, no breaks whatsoever. Superior difficulty, extra risk, and originality. Giants. What a routine.
Lovely.
Excellent.
Oh, Julianne McNamara.
She makes it look so easy, it's almost hard to appreciate it.
And you see one reason why she is ranked #1. Let's take a look in slow motion at the dismount.
You know, Jack, the thing that's going to impress those judges in 84 is not only the difficulty in her routine, but the technique. Look how she shoots way over the bar, makes the half twist almost laid out completely, all the way around on that dismount.
And look at the score, 9.9, and with that, Julianne takes the lead in the all-around competition. And the United States now, 96.70, China, 94.15.
If you shave with Track 2, what you're about to see will astound you, because Vic just showed that 2 blades do not shave closer than 1 Vic. In these amazing photos of whiskers, an electron microscope shows how close Track 2 shaved and how close Vic shaved. No difference. Even 8 hours later, no difference. But the price, big difference. This costs 23 cents less than this. Vic, the shave that saves.
Some business insurance policies don't cover theft by employees. Nationwide's special multi-peril insurance can cover employee theft and many other things you might not expect. Call a Nationwide agent and see how our special multi-peril insurance can cover your business. It's just one part of Nationwide's blanket protection for your business or family.
Nationwide is on your side.
Frank Gifford once again from New York, and we'll be returning to the USA versus the world in Olympic sports. But coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sport.
Talavera was the winner of the balance beam competition with this 9.8 performance.
And all the moves in Tracee's routine were very solid, just like these 2 back handsprings right into the layout full, clean, good technique.
And going into the floor exercise, the United States leading China by more than 2 points. And in the all-around championships, Julianne McNamara leading Tracee Talavera by 1/10 of a point. And here is Tracee.
This is a tough event for Tracee, especially the first tumbling run. In the past has had a tendency to over-rotate, and I'm sure right at this moment she's concentrating very hard on that first tumbling run. It's a double pike. And here it is. Round off flip-flop, double pike. There she goes.
All right.
Very nice. I think she can relax a little bit now. Home free now. Front flip, round off flip-flop, full twist. Beautifully done, right in line. There's an interesting series of tumbling and acrobatic movements. Kind of taking a rest there. Goes into classical music now. Gainer back handspring. One of the things the judges look for is composition and movement with the music. Tracee does that very well. Her routine is choreographed to fit her style. and she's right with the music. And her last tumbling run, she needs lots of energy for this. Run off flip-flop. Double twist, beautifully done. In the past, she said she's had trouble with endurance, but there's no trouble there. Good routine.
Right on the beat. Yes, sir. Tracee Talavera. And the crowd here at Pauly Pavilion loves that performance by this 15-year-older. And her teammates like it, too. Tracee Talavera getting congratulations from her peers. A lovely ovation here from this crowd. And a 9.7 score. And now she's coming out to take a bow. Tracee Talavera, 9.7 in the floor exercise. Now here is Zhang Hong. Not in a position to take the lead, but certainly one of the better performers on the floor exercise for the Chinese.
And she's really a young, upcoming gymnast. She starts out with a double back. She's so tiny. She gets incredible speed, good tightness. Very nicely done. Her dancing needs to be improved just a little bit, but she has lots of time for that. Arabian round-off flip-flop into a full, knees bent there. I don't think she wanted to do that. Working a little bit flat-footed right now. New to international competition. Now, it's really important on the floor exercise that you cover all four corners, and it looks like she's staying in one place a little bit too much. She's taken the tumbling run in the same direction on both her first run and her second run. She hasn't covered the upper right-hand portion of the mat at all. But you give her some experience, and you never can tell. By 1984, she'll have all these moves polished. Here's her last tumbling run. Round-off flip-flop. Nice double twist. A ways to go, but she's doing quite well, and she has the time, and that's terrific. Good routine.
Zhang Hong, and of course, one of the reasons they're over here is to get that experience, isn't it, Frank?
Yes, they're trying to give them the experience and the exposure to the other gymnasts and judges in international competition.
And there's the score, 9.55. This is the top-rated Chinese lady in the all-around competition. This is Zhou Jingjing.
And she starts with a full-in double back, one of the most difficult moves in the competition. Whoa, almost sat down on that, but she made it, and she looks real happy about that. Chinese has very expressive arms. 2 hours a day on flexibility. In fact, sometimes it works to their detriment. They don't have the strength to go along with the flexibility sometimes. It's kind of an unusual tumbling run. When they move around on the floor like that, it gives them a little time to rest for those difficult tumbling runs. Front walkover. Round off, jump straddle. Showing flexibility and balance. It's important that the music have a change in pace in it. Getting ready for her last tumbling run now. She needs lots of endurance. Round off flip-flop, double twist, a little off to the side, only about a 10th deduction though.
Zhou Jingjing, a member of the national Chinese team since 1979. Now here's a slow-motion look at her mount.
It's difficult enough to do a double back, but when you put a full twist onto the first salto, it makes it even more difficult. And it looks as if she got good height here, completed her full twist, and held onto her legs a little long and almost sat right back on it.
And the score, 9.7 for Zhou Jingjing. Coming up, Julianne McNamara, who has a shot at the all-around title, and the ever-entertaining Mary Lou Retton, the pride of Fairmount, West Virginia, who's been known to bring down the house with her tumbling.
Whoa, little fella, where do you think you're going? We're gonna get you back to your mama.
There you go.
We got them all. 7 That means it's Miller time. Come on, I'm buying.
Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, Miller's got the beer.
Millions of people have discovered a low-cost alternative to car care, where qualified mechanics do quality work. They discovered K-Care, found only at Kmart.
Worn shocks can cause more than just a bouncy ride, like cupping. Now you can solve the problem and save on Munromatic shock absorbers, the best-selling replacement shock in the world. Buy one Munromatic at our regular low price, get the second at half price. That's some value, but that's K-Care, only at Kmart.
The USA versus the world in Olympic sports is being brought to you by the smokeless tobaccos, Skoal, Copenhagen, and Happy Days, enjoyed by millions of guys for tobacco pleasure without smoking. Now let's return to the USA versus the world in Olympic sports and your host, Jack Whitaker.
The American women looking very good against the Chinese. And here is Julianne McNamara, who was leading in the all-around competition coming into the floor exercise and needs a 9.65 to maintain her lead over Tracee Talavera. Julianne McNamara.
She's been so consistent throughout these international competitions, and she's been on many of the tours, had very little rest, and she's just a tough competitor. She does a double pike mount here. Flip-flop. Very well done. She covered up a little bit there. Handstand, half turn. She's smiling a lot. I think somebody told her to. I think she's happy this is the last event. Flip, round off flip-flop. Double twist, beautifully done. Just floating through the air there. Change of pace in a routine now. She seems happy about something out there, Jack. I'm not sure. What a bright hopeful for 84. She'll end with a double twist. Round off flip-flop. Another beautifully done tumbling run. Lots of energy from her. What an excellent routine.
Julianne McNamara. We'll wait and see if she indeed is the all-around champion of this meet. She trains and goes to school in Eugene, Oregon, and as we learned earlier, a straight-A student. Getting congratulations from her teammates. As the scores are collected, even the Chinese come over to congratulate her. There it is, 9.75. And that, of course, gives her enough to be the women's all-around champion and puts the United States in a secure position for the team title. And here is Mary Lou Retton, a 14-year-old from Fairmont, West Virginia. She is the youngest member of the United States team. And the floor exercise is her very best event. She's considered one of the best tumblers in the world.
That's right, and you'll see why on her first tumbling run. She just springs off that floor and looks like she's flying. She starts out with not just a double back, but in a layout position. Let's see if she can hit this. She looks confident. Incredible power from this little lady. You can see in her run, she really goes for it. Beautiful. She just bounces. She doesn't have any tumbling run that's easy. This music is called a Russian Sailor. I know because I had it as my own floor exercise music. Her second tumbling run will be a handspring front layout into a double twist or a double back. There you go, double back.
Boy, did she hit it nicely, too, huh?
Boy, she really was on. Woo. You know, with all the bouncing around she does, the endurance that she has is just incredible. very little resting. She'll end with a double twist, and I'm sure the crowd's going to go nuts. Round up, flip-flop, double twist. Incredible. This girl is fantastic.
Mary Lou Retton in the floor exercise. Her ambition to be a member of the Olympic team, and if she puts performances in like this, she's going to be back here in Los Angeles in 1984. The crowd loves it. Her teammates love it. Let's take another look in slow motion.
Jack, you're absolutely right. The potential for Mary Lou to win a medal on this event is very, very good. You can see why on that front layout she gets good speed into this double back. Right on.
A little lady from Fairmont, West Virginia, 9.9 for Mary Lou Retton. Marvelous performance. And isn't she a happy one? Out she goes for a bow. What a way to end this competition. A 9.9 for Mary Lou Retton as she wins the floor exercise and helps the United States women's team to a victory over the Chinese. The American men having been defeated in a close competition. This is Jack Whitaker saying goodbye for Kathy Rigby and Gordon Maddox. Be sure to stay tuned next for ABC's Wide World of Sports, featuring live coverage of the Rebel 500 stock car race from Darlington, South Carolina, and the Santa Anita Derby from Arcadia, California, also live. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies